Hello everyone, Southern is pleased to share some new updates on the in-flight heritage of our Auriga Star Tracker. Here is an overview of our Star Tracker portfolio, which is the largest offer in the world, with the Hydra family in the middle, our premium Star Tracker, available in 4 different form factors, which is able to meet any requirements of high demanding missions. On the right side, the Horus Star Tracker, a single box Star Tracker, whose first flight is foreseen next year, and the Auriga family on the left side, which is our compact and low-cost solution. It is available in 2 form factors, the Auriga CP. CP stands for centralized processing. That means that the software has to be hosted on the onboard computer, and this is the solution selected for OneWeb constellation. And the Auriga SA for standalone includes an electronic box for attitude computation. For the Auriga CP, imagery is pre-processed within the optical head prior to being delivered to the satellite's onboard computer through a SpaceWire interface. The software manages up to 3 optical heads and up to 10 Hz. Auriga SA also manages up to 3 optical heads and delivers the attitude to the onboard computers through a standard RS-422 interface. Both versions use the autonomous multiple head management inherited from our Hydra Star Tracker. Auriga CP is TRL-9 since February 2019, with the launch of the 6 first Airbus OneWeb satellites. You have a picture of the OneWeb satellite with the 2 Auriga optical heads, and with the deployment of the constellation, we have now 436 Auriga Star Trackers in flight on board this constellation. All units are operating perfectly and are already accumulating more than 2 million hours of nominal operation in a high LEO environment at 1200 kilometers, so with a high level of radiation. And you have a nice picture of few optical heads, let's say 100 optical heads that are waiting for shipping. And well, here is a kind of figure that has become a reality in our industry with mega constellation. Auriga SA also achieved TRL-9 on December 2019 as a passenger on Angels spacecraft. Angels is a nanosat from Emeria and CNES. And for this demonstration, Auriga SA uses only 1 optical head and is operated at 10 Hz. And by the way, Emeria selected the Auriga CP for its CNES constellation of 25 nanosat. Here you have typical measurements from Angels, showing the nominal operation in tracking mode with the number of stars used for the attitude computation recorded during 4 days. All measurements are valid, with more than 98% of the attitudes computed with at least 7 stars. Showing the good star detection capability across the celestial sphere. The maximum number is 8 per field of view on the Auriga Star Tracker. We also checked the accuracy with the total noise presented here around the cross-bore sight axis on the left-hand side and around the bore sight axis on the right. The analysis was performed on 8 different datasets for different positions on the sky. The green lines give the expectations in the conditions of the measurement. So in this case, beginning of life, temperature was about 25 degrees Celsius, with and without twilight. Twilight is an important contributor to noise. As you can see, the noise is about twice higher with twilight with respect to no twilight. And the expected value is computed considering the whole sky, and the consistency is excellent with the measurements, with some fluctuations around the expected accuracy due to the different positions on the sky. We also got some interesting results in the acquisition mode. Auriga is able to perform lost in space acquisition in harsh environment. So for environment quite far from the initial target of new space applications with short LEO missions. You have an example of full-frame image in OneWeb end-of-life conditions. So 6 years, 1200 kilometers at hot temperature. The detector is at 40 degrees Celsius, and during solar flares. And if you look at a zoom on a small portion of this image, you can see a lot of hot pixels that are generated by the radiations and whose amplitude is emphasized by the temperature. You have also a transient pattern, and you can see or not the image of the real star that we want to measure, and that is indicated by the green arrow. And Auriga Lost in Space acquisition is operational with this kind of images. But to be able to succeed acquisition in this environment, software limitation has been defined, limiting the maximum angular weight to 0.3 degree per second. This limitation is used to get the best of the algorithm efficiency while keeping a reasonable CPU budget, which is a real concern for centralized architecture. So I would say it is more balance between robustness, time to switch to tracking, and CPU load on one side, and on the other side, the angular weight. And this balance is managed by only one software parameter. Without this limitation, the physical star detection capability could allow acquisition up to 2 to 3 degrees per second, but in an easier environment than end-of-life OneWeb conditions. So, Angels was initially spinned at 1 degree per second just after the separation with the launch vehicle. So Auriga was logically maintained in acquisition without the possibility to switch to tracking due to this software limitation. There was no problem to relax the parameter up to a value of 1.5 degree per second instead of 0.3 because Angels was not under OneWeb end-of-life conditions. And once the new parameter has been uploaded in flight, Auriga switched to tracking mode immediately. And the figure shows the angular weight measured in tracking mode with periodically occultations by the Earth. And so you have several sequences of lost in space acquisition, tracking mode, occultation, and lost in space, and so on. So you can see that there is no problem to succeed the lost in space acquisition for angular weight between 1 and 1.2 degree per second. These interesting telemetries also provide an estimation of the Earth exclusion angle, which is in line with the expected value of 22 degrees. On the next slide, Angels is then stabilized, and the angular weight is the orbital one, so 0.06 degree per second. And several acquisitions, 70 acquisitions, are performed from different positions on the sky. The temperature is about 25 degrees Celsius. And this is done for the two software parameter values of 0.3 degree per second and 1.5 degree per second. With the default parameter value of 0.3 degree per second, the lost in space acquisition succeeds the switch to tracking in the minimum time of 4 seconds in almost all cases. Only one case required 6 seconds to switch to tracking. With the parameter set to 1.5 degree per second, the acquisition still provides good performance, but the worst cases require more time to succeed, and the worst case is up to 17 seconds. And this is a good illustration of the interest of this software parameterization to get the best performance as soon as the angular weight is low. There is also a software feature to manage this limitation. It is possible to provide the angular weight to the star tracker through a telecommand, and with this information it is possible to remove any limitation without impact on the performance. The next analysis is on the Strölight and comes from OneWeb telemetries. As the Strölight level is provided in tracking mode telemetry, it is possible to precisely validate the Strölight levels generated by the sun, its exclusion angle, and the robustness of the Auriga star tracker. Strölight is an important parameter impacting the pointing accuracy and the measurement availability. And as you can see, the measured Strölight for each optical head is within bounds with the expected 35-degree sun exclusion angle. And the optical heads continue to provide measurements far below the sun exclusion angle past 30 degrees. Among the 4 optical heads, 3 had similar Strölight measurements, while 1 optical head was slightly different, but still within the acceptable limits. This overall dispersion was expected because in fact it was measured on ground, and otherwise we would have taken too much margin on the Strölight level. Here you have measurements when the moon enters the field of view. The Strölight level slightly increases, but up to a negligible level, and there is no effect at all on the number of stars used for the attitude computation. And before the conclusion, a new improvement that will come soon in the Auriga family. We are currently developing a hardened version of the optical head with a new lens assembly with wide glasses and thickened structure to increase the solidity. And with these modifications, the Auriga CP will be compatible with GEO 15-year lifetime requirements. This new optical head has the same interface and the same price than the previous one, and the mass is only increased by 20 grams. And this new optical head will be available next year. To conclude, the Auriga product line is fully qualified with TRL9 on both centralized processing and standalone versions. The high volume production line is fully operational with more than 1,250 star trackers already delivered. 12 customers have already selected this product so far. And we have even some improvements to come with the new hardened version of the optical head and new software features also. And this makes the Auriga star tracker the reference in its category in terms of size, cost, and mass. I want to thank Emeria for providing the telemetries and CNES and ESA for their support. Thanks for your attention.